Sorry about that. My mic was muted. Hello, welcome to Alyssa Jean's live chat with wine for December 2025. Welcome, Maddie. Welcome, Norman. Good to see you guys. And yes, Maddie, you were correct. Going with the classic Cab Sav to be the Cab Sav queen. I mean, I did say this was going to be my last one, so I mean that was kind of a no-brainer. That was kind of an easy guess. What else am I going to do on most likely the last one? I mean, you never know. I could just randomly decide to do one in the future, but planning for this to be the last one. So of course I'm going to do Cab Sav, especially after Maddie made that lovely plaque for me. I assume AI generated on my Facebook page, the Cab Sav Queen. Allison, yay! I'm glad you were here. I'm so glad to see you, Allison. Oh, I haven't done the wine cellar in a couple months. I don't know if I think you missed the last one, maybe months, actually, a couple of live streams. I may have done it at the beginning of the year, but I was too lazy to set up the green screen, and it's kind of crappy anyways. Yeah, so I just gave up on it. No more wine cellar. I'm just here, sitting at my kitchen table with my living room behind me. You can kind of see the Christmas tree, my little Christmas tree. Still light coming through the window, messing the lighting up a little bit, but since it is so close to the solstice, it's going to keep getting darker as I go on here. So pretty soon that light will be gone. Yeah, that's right. You were in Europe the last time. And I think the time before that, too, I didn't bother with the green screen. It was just too much of a pain in the arse. Pitch dark on the East Coast. Yeah, I mean, you're 3 hours ahead, so it is 4:02 here, so it's getting there. Like it'll be dark soon. Oh, greetings, Will Ferrell #1. I'm glad you're here because I had an old TV show thing that I wanted to talk about, and you might know what I'm referring to. Let me take a sip and then I'll introduce you to my really funny wine that I'm drinking. So, as I said, I wanted to do Cab Sav for sure. So I didn't have any Cab Sav, so I actually went to grocery outlet today to get some specifically, so I can be listening to the Cab Sav Queen. And I ended up getting this really funny one. It's called the second cheapest wine, and it was $4.99, so it's $5. What is the #1 cheapest wine? You may ask. Not entirely sure. I'm assuming they're referring to $2 Chuck, which I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I haven't seen it. I even can't remember what it was really called. It was Charles something. I always think Charles Schwab, but Charles Schwab is isn't it like a tax place or something? Yeah, it was Charles something, and it was a $2 wine. They used to have it at Trader Joe's, and everybody called it $2 Chuck, and it was terrible. It was infamously terrible. And I used to get it a lot when I was poor, and I still wanted to drink. But even after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get like a $5 or $6 wine because it's not good. So I don't know if that's what this is referring to when it says the second cheapest wine. I'm not sure what the first cheapest wine is, but actually this is pretty decent. I mean, it's just about as good as any of the other wines I get at grocery outlet. Some of those are like $7 or $8 or $9 even. And this is $5, and yeah, it is what it is. It's not bad. Look at Will Ferrell #1 jumping right into the questions. Have you ever seen The Master of Disguise? I have not, but I feel like you've asked me that before. Is that the one with Dana Carvey in it? Is it the? Because if it's the Dana Carvey one, I'm pretty sure you've asked me that question before. Yeah. Plank, barely a step above vinegar. See, this is like decent cheap wine though, because there's bad cheap wine, and then there's like cheap wine that's a good for the. It's a bargain, like bargain wine I call it, because it's good for the price. It's not going to be any, it's not going to be anything that's going to blow you away. It'll be one of the finest wines you've ever tasted. But for the price, it's good. And then there's the cheap wine that's just not good at all. I also got burnt out on the one with the kangaroo on the bottle. It's obviously an Australian wine, but it's like, I don't know. It's like the Coca-Cola or Pepsi of wines here in the United States, or like, I guess the equivalent would be like Foster's beer, which is the like big Australian beer that we have in the US. Like, what is that one called? It has a kangaroo on the bottle. I'm like, I don't like that one. And that's a cheap one. That's like a cheap wine. Do you like Grand Nagus Zek? I'll tell you what. I like Wallace Shawn. We'll say that. But any of those Ferengi comedy episodes, it's just a waste of my time. I didn't like any of those Ferengi comedy episodes. And a lot of those were about the Grand Nagus, and I just thought the whole thing was dumb. But I do like Wallace Shawn, so there's that. He's perfect choice for that role too. But just the scripts and just the kind of comedy that they would try to do, I just didn't like it. So I'm gonna pour a little bit more of the second cheapest wine. So I've been watching these like nostalgia videos on YouTube, like nostalgia TV for like Gen Xers, for like 80s and 90s sitcoms. I've been watching a whole bunch of these different videos like that. All kinds of different topics. Some of them are very obviously narrated by AI, and it's really annoying, but I still watch them anyways because I find the content really interesting. So I watched one today that was about must-see TV flops. So must-see TV was what NBC called its Thursday night lineup. And the 80s and 90s, like Thursday night was like the big night for NBC and all of television, really. Like that was the night where everybody tuned in. So I think like the peak of it, like the most killer lineup ever done in the 80s of Thursday night. And now you got to forget about what we know about a certain person now. I'm talking about at the time. 8 o'clock, The Cosby Show. 8:30, Family Ties. 9 o'clock, Cheers. 9:30, Night Court. 10 o'clock, LA Law. Come on. Come on. The greatest light up in the history of TV. Or at least I thought so at the time. The Cosby Show now, maybe not so much. And then eventually, like a different world went into that 8:30 slot, and then eventually Night Court went away. So this video was about the shows that NBC tried to plug into those other slots. They always had the solid 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock shows. So in the 80s, it was Cosby Show, and Cheers was pretty solid. And like yeah, like I said, for a little while, it's Family Ties and Night Court, but those eventually went off the air, and we still had um, Cheers and the Cosby Show. So, and then in the '90s, it was um, Seinfeld, which was the 9 o'clock slot, and then Friends came in, which Friends, one of the most overrated shows in the history of television. I could never get into it. I tried several times to like Friends. I tried. And the actors were all pretty decent. Like there was a good cast, you know. The ones who have had careers since that show, I think, deserve it. I think they're pretty decent actors. Jennifer Aniston is fine, you know. Like, but I just can never get into that show. It just never was for me. But anyways, oh, and now I hear all this stuff about like all this homophobia that it had in that show, which that tracks to me. um, so this video was about all those shows they tried to plug into those time slots in between either Cosby Show and Cheers or Friends and Seinfeld. And how they failed. And there was some of them in this video that were like in the early 2000s that I wasn't watching TV and I wasn't watching sitcoms anymore at that point, so I never heard of them. But a lot of the ones from the 80s and 90s, I do remember. And yeah. Oh, Frasier. Yeah, Frasier came in later as well. Frasier was part of that must-see TV lineup. Daphne's accent still gives you nightmares. Yeah, Frasier was part of that at a certain point as well. I believe it was the 9:30 show. And then later they put Scrubs in the 9:30 slot, and people like loved it. And they're doing a reboot of Scrubs. That's another one I just can never. Like in theory, it should have been funny for me. Like I wanted to laugh at it, and it seems like it should have been funny, but for some reason, it just didn't click with me. Scrubs, that is. And I'm not gonna watch the reboot. Like, Frasier was on NBC. No, Frasier was definitely on NBC because it was a spinoff of Cheers. It's entirely possible that it ended its run on CBS. Like maybe it moved at the very, very end. But yeah, Cheers was like the big Thursday night must-see TV lineup on NBC, and then Frasier was a spinoff of that, and Frasier was also a part of the NBC must-see TV lineup. And I know this for a fact because this video just mentioned Frasier as one of the shows that was on there. But some shows move networks at the very end of the run, so you could be right about maybe it moved to CBS at the very, very end, but it was 100% NBC all the way. It was a spinoff of Cheers, one of NBC's best shows. So one of the shows that they mentioned was a show that I actually loved a lot, and I feel like maybe I've talked about it on this live chat before. But Mark and I used to love the show, and we still talk about it sometimes. And that's Dear John. And I honestly didn't even remember that Dear John, it started off on the must-see TV Thursday nights. I remember it being on like a Monday or something. And it actually had good ratings and was popular. But according to this video, at least NBC wanted to they didn't like the style of it. They wanted to get something younger and hipper in that must-see TV slot, so they bumped it out. Yes, I know I'm right. I'm 100%. There was no doubt in my mind. I'm definitely right about it. Anyway, so they bumped it out and it bounced around to different days. And I followed it around because I remember being on a Monday night, but I loved that show. And it was on for 4 seasons. So it wasn't a total flop. And even in this video, they were like, this is the one show in this video that really wasn't a flop. Basically, the network did it dirty because it pushed it out of its prime Thursday night real estate because it wanted to try something new and fresh, and I don't know what they ended up going with. But it had a good premise and good actors in it. You know, it's about a divorcee named John, played by Judd Hirsch, and it had the catchy theme song, "Dear John, by the time you read these lines, I'll be gone." And Mark and I will still quote. So it was like a support group for divorcees, and like anytime a new member, and then if Daphne's accent drove you crazy, I'm sure that this there was a character named Luis, very similar, like very high pitched kind of British accent, and she was the leader of the support group. And anytime someone new would come in, they would say, she would go, "Everybody, hi, John," or whatever their name was. And I still do say that when I come home and Gina is greeting me at the door. I'll say, "Everybody, hi, Gina." Like she wags her tail and gets all excited. I used to do that to my previous dog, Sawyer, as well. It's a tradition. Like it was, "Everybody, hi," whatever my dog's name is. Currently Gina. Uh, um, Miami Vice was one of my favorites. That's another one I just could never get into. I don't know. It was too 80s for me, even though it was the 80s. So like it was just too, I don't know. It was too much for me. Yeah. It's just not one that I ever connected with. Um, Most forgot. Oh, and Mad About You, I think was in there somewhere, probably in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Um, and my favorite and forgotten must see TV is The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd. Oh, I vaguely remember that. Was that like Leah Thompson or something? Oh, who was in that? Was that Leah Thompson or Leah Thomas? Leah Thompson. Yeah, that was very short lived, and I don't remember that I ever really got into that one. And it wasn't mentioned in this video, so I guess it wasn't considered a flop per se. Um, Angry Anna reacts. Howdy, all you crazy cool kids just popping in to hit that like button. Thank you for popping in. I believe your first time here. I don't recognize you, so thanks for popping in. Love it. Love to see it. Miami Vice was on Friday nights every time they said freeze Miami Vice. The bad guys never surrendered. Of course not. Of course they didn't. Blair Brown. Blair Brown was in the Nascent Knights of Molly Dodd. Okay, all right. I don't. Yep, you randomly show it up on my feed. Well, hello. Thanks for popping in. Alf was one of my favorite sitcoms I watched back in the day. Guessing you're a little younger than me, because I remember Mark back in the day liked Alf. Mark is 5 years younger than me. So they were right at that age. And because it's basically a kids show as far as I'm concerned, and I was a little bit older, and I thought it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, and I did not understand why it was so popular. Like the laugh tracks were awful, like the timed with the jokes that they did were awful, and like it was just a one note thing where Alf just wanted to eat cats. Like I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you by saying it was because you said it was your favorite sitcoms back in the day. Maybe it's just because I was a little bit older, but I thought it was the dumbest fucking thing I ever saw. And I still ended up watching it every week. But like I just thought it was really dumb. But I was probably like a spoiled teenager, like, man, I'm too cool for this or something. Who knows? Probe and Automan, two very short-lived series. I don't remember Probe. I do remember Automan. I watched another video that had that show in it. It was about like what was that? what was that video called? It was about shows that had like sci-fi shows that were short-lived and had Greatest American Hero in it, um, and some other ones, and it had Automan on it. And I think I probably had forgotten about Automan until I watched that video, and I was like, oh yeah! And he had this thing called Cursor, and it like would make his car. It's kind of Tron-like. um, yeah, I remember Automan. Probe, I don't remember. Um, Norman Buckwald, please don't say things like that. Please. I mean, I'm gonna like projectile vomit if Alf makes a cameo on the Pike puppet show for the Strange New Worlds. As it is, it's awful enough that they're doing a puppet episode. Yeah, to have Alf show up like that would just I would probably rage quit Strange New Worlds right then and there. I probably wouldn't, but at the very least, it would compete with 4.5 Vulcans for the worst episode of all time, which is already starting like right now. It's already um, poised to compete for that title. But you put Alf in it, and yeah, that would be the worst thing. But they're not going to do that though, because they wouldn't do that. Okay, I remember the dinosaurs being on TV a lot when I was a kid. The final episode was so sad. They all died from climate change caused by industry, and the show just ends. That is sad. I never watched that show. I think there was another one that was mentioned in that video, with the same video with Automan, talking about like these sci-fi-esque shows that from the 80s or 90s. And yeah, Automan was so technologically advanced for the day. It was at the time. It was like mind blowing. Now look at footage of it, and it looks so incredibly cheesy, like so terrible. Kind of like Tron. Tron was also thought of to be like really high tech in its day as well. And you look at the old Tron movies, the original one, and same thing. It looks terrible now. Probe was a genius who went out and solved crimes. Yeah, not ringing a bell. Maybe I'll Google it after I'm done here. Google image it and see if it looks familiar. Sometimes I Google things while I'm live, but I don't want to do that because that takes me away from talking to you all. So yeah, it doesn't ring a bell though. Will Ferrell #1. Do you remember Dear John? Do you remember that one? Yeah, Mark does. Mark and I still talk about that show sometimes. Done dirty by the network. Underrated show. Should have been on longer. And Judd Hirsch, I like him. I liked Taxi too. I didn't get Taxi when it was originally on. I was a little kid, and I remember my parents watching it, and like it was too adult for me. But then later, when I watched it in reruns, I quite liked it a lot. And Judd Hirsch is really good on it. I feel like there's a Total Recall TV show back in the day. I remember seeing it advertised and never watched it. I think it was Mark would probably remember this more than I would, but I think it was on Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi channel. I think would have had to been early to mid 90s because the movie was 1990. I think you're right because I feel like it's something that I tried to watch and it was terrible, but I don't know. It could be like Sinbad being in the Genie movie. It could be like a memory I'm making up, but I feel like that might be the case. Dallas was a good show on CBS Friday nights. Yeah, you know what? You know what I used to watch on CBS on Friday nights? Dukes of Hazzard, which is an awful show now. Dukes of Hazzard, Wonder Woman. When I was a little kid, Wonder Woman. I don't think they were all on the same network. I think I had to switch channels because there was the Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman. And when I was a really little kid, and I have only vague memory of it, Spider-Man was on the TV show, live action TV show. Because there was Spider-Man, then there was an Incredible Hulk, and then there was Wonder Woman. So Dallas, I was just too young for it. I just didn't care about that kind of show when I was a kid. I probably wouldn't care about that kind of show now, to be honest with you. It's the whole drama, soap, nighttime soap opera thing. Like, it's not my thing. So probably wouldn't watch it now either. See. Jer Burns was on Dear John. Is Jer Burns the guy who was on Tin Man? Because the episode Tin Man? Because that I know. The guy who played Ralph was in the Next Generation episode Tin Man. And the first time I saw that episode, I was like, I think I didn't recognize him immediately. But like as the episode went on, I was like, hey, isn't that Ralph? That's Ralph from Dear John. So I was definitely familiar with Dear John before I saw that episode of Next Generation, which I would have seen after it originally aired. I wouldn't have seen it when it first came on. The Pukes of Hazzard back in school. It is a terrible show. I'm just going to say that, but when I was a really little kid, I thought it was cool. I was in Maryland, so it was like we had a little bit of Southern culture, like, I don't know. I've heard like over the years people who are from Maryland like trying to be controversial and say Maryland's is in the South. People don't know that, but Maryland is in the South. It literally is not. Like, it is literally the definition of in between. Like, it was like in the Civil War, it was in between. It's like where the Mason-Dixon line is. Like, it was literally not the South. So, but it did have some elements of Southern culture kind of leaked up to it, but a lot of the elements of Mid-Atlantic culture leaked down to it as well. So it's kind of in between. But anyways, the point is, like, there was enough. I remember my cousin Manny was really into it. He was a year older than me, and he lived in Virginia, and it was a little bit more in that Southern culture. So yeah, there was enough of that I was able to get into that show as a really, really, really little kid. But it's a terrible show for many, many reasons. Probably racist and sexist as fuck, but also just not good. Dukes of Hazzard is the same set that they use for Gilmore Girls. Look at you, Angry Auto Reacts, coming in here and like just dropping the little factoids that I didn't know. Jer Burns was Kirk. I don't know. See, I don't know that actor outside of Dear John. What else was he in? I only know that actor from Dear John. The only one besides Judd Hirsch I really know from anything else was the guy who played Ralph, was in Tin Man. The Next Generation episode, that is. The Tin Man. Switching over to a little sip of Polar seltzer. Keep it balanced a little bit. Alrighty. What else, you guys? I'm just noticing earlier post. Do Over from the early 2000s was another short-lived gem and available on YT. Don't know that one, but early 2000s is when I was really kind of getting out of watching TV on a regular basis, especially sitcoms and dramas. And I think the only thing I was really watching was Star Trek, and then BSG came on, and then Lost came on. But I wasn't really watching a lot of network TV in the early 2000s. Let's see. What else you guys got for me? Comments on Academy promo or Volume 1 of Stranger Things. So, obviously, two separate topics. The Academy promo, don't know. I don't know. It looks alright, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. We'll have to watch it. It does seem very Discovery esque, like the spinny cameras and the I don't know, like by promo. Do you mean like the scene that they had where they're like on the starship and Paul Giamatti is like attacking them in his big ship and they're all like, Captain, what are we gonna do? Blah, blah, and they're like running around the ship, red alert, and like that whole scene like plays off too much like Discovery. Like the camera's jumping around and we're oh Captain, and we're just jumping around all over the place. Like I don't like that. Um yeah. Um I don't know. If the characters are good, I will like it. And some of what I've read about it seems like it has some interesting characters. So if they have good character stories, I will like it. So um we'll see. Um I mentioned to Mark, do you think Starfleet Academy will end after two seasons like Paramount Skydance will just do something new with Star Trek? Unfortunately, I do think that that's a possibility. I'm worried of what Paramount Skydance is going to do. Um, there were rumors that they were going to like, I don't know, like reboot Star Trek, like do Star Trek that has nothing to do with any of the previous Star Treks. Or that at first I heard the rumor that they were going to just take out the modern track and it would connect with everything up to Enterprise. Which I'm sorry, modern track is part of Star Trek. You can't erase it, so fuck you. And then the movie that they were talking about, like supposedly is gonna like have nothing to do with any Star Trek, and I don't understand how that's even called Star Trek if that's the case. So yeah, I'm a little scared about what Skydance is gonna do to Star Trek. So I'm gonna enjoy the last couple seasons of Strange New Worlds and Academy as much as I can. Um, I can only get a fraction of what Holly Hunter was saying. Yep. Jared Burns was on something so right, Justified, Breaking Bad, Hates Motel, Burn Notice. The only one of those shows I've ever even heard of is Breaking Bad, and I didn't know he was in it. I don't remember him in that. Maybe I vaguely remember that he was in that. It's been a few years since I've watched Breaking Bad. Um, he was in that. Oh, yeah. Those other all those other shows that you just mentioned, I've never heard of them. Um, yes, the scene with the mustache twirling villain. I don't know. I don't think Paul Giamatti is going to be a mustache twirling villain. I really don't. But we'll see. Will Byers. Okay, now we're switching over to Norman's other question about Volume 1 of Stranger Things. Because Will Ferrell, number one, says Will Byers is my favorite character in Stranger Things. Yeah, you just like people named Will, apparently. Norman says Robin is my favorite. I like Robin. I do. I don't know if I have a standout favorite character. In the past, it was Dustin, but Dustin's being a little annoying this season. I don't know if I can say it's him. Um, Steve is he's the most annoying character. I don't like Steve. Never have. He's so annoying. I would say if I would have to pick one off the top of my head, I'd probably go with Robin as well. I like the little speech that she gave Will, and I do like that they're finally giving Will like something to do. They're actually like making him more of a main character. It's interesting. Like Mike, for the first couple seasons, was like the main character. I felt like in part one he was like a background character, and you know what? I'm fine with that. Like I don't need Mike to be the main character. Um, yeah, I like Robin. I like what they did with Will. And have you guys all watch it? Like, do I have to have a spoiler alert or anything? Like, how they ended the volume one with Will. I like that they're finally doing something with this character and something interesting. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, Dustin is being a teenager, but they're all teenagers, and he's the most annoying one. No excuse at all. All of them are except the older ones are not like Robin and Steve and uh, and Nancy and Jonathan I think are not teenagers anymore, but the rest of them are, and Dustin is still amongst the teenagers the most annoying. So no, being a teenager is not an excuse. But maybe he'll redeem himself in the volume 2. Who knows? But he's still not the most annoying character of the show. Steve is still the most annoying character in the show. It just gets on my nerves. And he always gives Dustin this is where I'll stick up for Dustin. He always gives Dustin too much of a hard time. Like, fuck you, Steve. I don't know. But no, I don't forgive Dustin for being a teenager because they all are, and he's the most annoying. Yeah. You like Steve? Really? What do you like about him specifically? Do you like his bad jokes? Do you like his really annoying attitude? Do you like his like the way he treats Dustin like shit? Do you like his haircut? I mean, there's nothing to like about Steve. I'm so sorry. I just have to disagree with you on that. I mean, I do like that they give the character redemption, that he wasn't as awful as he was to start off. Mostly because of Robin, he became friends with Robin. But since then, they've kind of moved away. He's not really with Robin, and like him and Robin aren't paired together as much anymore, and more pair him with Dustin. And yeah, fair enough. Dustin is depressed because his man crush died last season. Yeah, maybe Dustin might. I have a feeling Dustin could redeem himself. Actually, you know who my favorite character was after season 4 was Max. Can't say she is right now because she's barely been in the show, and she's only been in it in like spoilers in like this dream state, like the like her physical body is still unconscious. So it's hard to say she would be my favorite character this year, but season 4, she was amazing. Sadie Sink was amazing. Getting really tired of seeing all of the things coming up on my Facebook feed and my YouTube feed about Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey in the MCU. Sadie Sink is playing Spider-Man's daughter in the MCU, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Sadie Sink is playing like all these. There's like 10 different characters because apparently she is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So there's like 10 different characters that I've seen people speculating, and they're all like definitive. This is who she's playing, and like I don't give a fuck. Like I loved her in Stranger Things, but come on, just stop it. Allison, cheers to you. V was the best. V was the absolute best. I watched it a little later in life, and it was definitely cheesy. Like, I think I watched it. I don't remember when I was able to watch it again. Maybe even in the late 90s or early 2000s. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely cheesy. But, I mean, Diana was the best villain. Come on. It's so 80s, but she was the best villain. And that show creeped me out. Like, when they had him, like, eat the mice. Remember that? They would go, like, that fucking creeped me out. And they did that, I think, before they revealed that they were, spoiler alert for me, lizard people. Like, before they were revealed. Do you guys remember the reboot from, I think it was like 2000, I want to say 2010, because I remember what house I was living in when I watched the reboot. So I'm going to say 2010. And it was post-Lost, for sure. And it had Elizabeth Mitchell in it. Elizabeth Mitchell was the star of it. And I love Elizabeth Mitchell, but it sucked. Like, it was terrible, and it didn't last very long at all. But the original 80s one, and then remember V, The Final Battle, and then V, the series, they made it into a regular TV series, and I think it kind of went downhill when they made it into a regular TV series, but I watched it. So far, meh on Dr. K. I will agree with you on that one. Love Linda Hamilton, but yeah. What was her deal? What is she doing? I don't even know. I don't know what her deal was yet. So maybe she'll grow on me as we move on to volume 2, and then the finale. But I agree, she's kind of meh so far. Um, I tried to watch the reboot of V, but got bored and gave up. I think I did as well. I don't think I made it to every episode that they aired. I think that and then they didn't air very many of them. Like it got canceled pretty quickly. But I'm not sure that I made it through even the ones that ended up coming on because it was boring. It was just wasn't really well done. Um, I love the V movies. Well, technically they were miniseries, but yes, the series did not get a fair chance. 80s haircut villain Lizard Diana. She's the best. The best villain. I'm sure she was mustache twirly, but she was the best villain in the 80s for me when I was a kid. Remember miniseries? Miniseries. I mean, these days we just call them limited series when they're on streaming channels. But miniseries were like big events in the 80s. V was one of them. Shogun was one from when I was a really little kid. I remember my parents watching it. What are some other miniseries from the 80s? Of course, Roots. Roots is which I didn't watch until I was later in life, but Roots is one of the most well done, well famous miniseries. Oh, there was one. Oh, there was one called North and South about the Civil War that had a young Jonathan Frakes in it, pre-beard, pre-Next Generation. So he was like the baby-faced Jonathan Frakes in a Civil War miniseries. I believe it was called North and South. Before Alexander and Naomi Wildman, there was that fast-growing crossbreed woman on V who grew up in a week. Oh, right. Yeah, her name was, she was the daughter of somebody. She was like, oh, yeah, she was, what was the female main character with blonde hair? Can't remember her name. It wasn't her baby, actually. It was this other, but I think she ended up taking care of the child or something. Can't remember, but it was the baby of this girl with like long brown hair, and she was, I think, might have been like a teenager or something. And I remember she was like, so before it was revealed that they were lizards and everything, she was like so taken aback by one of the visitors. She was like, "Oh, he's so hot," and like she ended up. And then I remember Diana like telling that guy, "Yeah, like get her pregnant. We'll see what happens," or something like it. They planned it. And I remember her having this dream where she had a baby and like a lizard came out and like freaked me out. Not as much as Gina Davis having the maggot baby and the fly. But yeah, or maybe actually no, maybe no. I'm getting the two things conflated. It was a dream that Gina Davis had a maggot baby in the fly. This was a real thing where she had a lizard baby and then she had a human looking baby, and the lizard baby died. And then the human looking baby was the one who ended up growing up really fast, just because they wanted her to be an adult on the show, basically. Yeah. Yeah. That's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a dream. It was she did have a lizard baby. Lizard baby died. I'm thinking of Gina Davis having a maggot baby in The Fly, and that freaked me the fuck out when I saw that movie. Okay. Maggots, like Shatner's Tech War. I feel like they may have been TV and movies. Can't quite remember. Yeah, I remember my dad reading those books, and I tried to read them, and they were boring. I couldn't get into them. And then I think they did attempt to make a TV movie or something on it, possibly on the Sci-Fi Channel, but I couldn't get into that either. Jonathan Flakes, Patrick Swayze, and Kirstie Alley were in North and South. Yeah, that's right. Patrick Swayze was as well. I didn't remember that Kirstie Alley was, but I did remember that Patrick Swayze was also in North and South. Definitely a book series. Wait, what are you talking about, Allison? Are you talking about Tech War? Yeah, that was definitely a book series. So, hmm, I'm having a little bit of an issue here. Like, I really need to use the bathroom, but I don't want to end this. I don't want to stop it and then come back. So, you're gonna be watching like just my living room with nobody there for a couple minutes. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna mute myself so that I don't end up doing a naked gun. But I will. Bathroom's literally right there. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Yes, Norman, I totally did have the Monty Python intermission music in my head. In fact, I was gonna come back and sing it. Uh, yes, I definitely. And I'm laughing as Monty gestures have pointed us. We got trapped in the bathroom, and we're the only people we know. We'd have to figure out some sort of rescue plan. I mean, the rescue plan would just be to contact Mark, and then Mark could contact my brother Ricardo, who lives here, and then it would be fine. But how would you know though? If I was trapped in the bathroom, you wouldn't. You would just be like, "Why was taking her so long?" But you wouldn't know I was trapped in the bathroom. Uh, Aaron Lee, welcome. Will Trail number one. Let me just tell you a little secret. I don't like William Shatner. Like, I really don't. So anything else outside of Star Trek that he's done, I have not read his books. I have not watched any of his shows. I do remember T.J. Hooker, but it looked like a generic dumb cop show that had a bad actor in it. William Shatner's a bad actor. I'm sorry. Uh, um, Anyways, I left here saying I'm going to mute myself so I don't do a naked gun, and I'm referring to the scene where Leslie Nielsen still has his microphone on, and he goes to the bathroom, and you can hear him peeing, and he's singing a song. Oh, no, 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 no. That's what I'm referring to. So speaking of naked gun, I have not seen the reboot, but I think Mark is going to force me to watch it when I uh, go back east in a couple weeks. I'm going to go hang out with my fams, and Mark is there. Um, I have a feeling he's going to force me to watch it. We were talking about it recently, and they were telling me how good it is and how funny it is, and I don't know. I saw the trailers. There was a couple things in there that I thought was funny, but a lot of it I thought was actively unfunny and really annoying. And also, in retrospect, I think the original Naked Gun is not as good as I used to. So I don't know. Twilight Zone episodes that starred him were decent. Was he in any other ones besides there's something on the wing, some kind of thing? Like, was he in other ones? Leonard Nimoy was in one. I remember that. I can't remember which one, but he was in one. I don't know. The thing I remember most about that episode is Ace Ventura doing that in Ace Ventura 2, which was largely a bad movie, but um, there was a scene where Jim Carrey was on a plane and he does that impersonation. Um, The fortune teller machine in the diner episode. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember that. Well, those two different episodes, fortune teller machine and the diner, or fortune teller machine was in the diner. I vaguely remember a fortune teller. I used to watch Twilight Zone every New Year's Eve for a while. It was, I don't know if they still do. Is Sci-Fi Channel still even exist? Or I know it was called Sci-Fi for a little while. Do they still do that? A New Year's Eve, the Twilight Zone marathon. For several years running, I was watching that. Probably in the early to mid '90s. But these days, I do more fun things on New Year's Eve. So I don't remember Twilight Zone, like the more obscure episodes, that much anymore. I remember the ones that I saw a bunch, or ones that really stand out in my memory. Yeah, Cord Cutter since 2012. Yeah, before that, way before that for me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, the new Naked Gun, Liam Nielsen. I don't know. I'll let you know after Mark forces me to watch it. I'll write a little blurb on my Facebook page. Well, we only have 5 viewers now. We had 7 before and lost a couple. Where'd you go? Who did we lose? Did we lose the otter guy? He is fun. I'm assuming male. I actually don't know. It just seems like a female identifying person wouldn't call themselves angry out of reacts, but I could be wrong. I should just say they because I don't know. Shouldn't make assumptions about people's gender. Anyway, that person was fun. They're gone now. I think. Who else did we lose? Did Aaron Lee count as one of the 7? Aaron Lee might have just popped in and left. Anyways, I understand why you would leave. We're not talking about anything at all. We've really made this last, though. I'm really impressed that we made this last without me having a damn thing to talk about coming into it. Usually I have a couple things coming into it that I want to talk about. We got 6 viewers now. Went back up again. So I watched that video that I mentioned earlier today, and then I came in and I was like, well, I'll talk about that a little bit, but that'll take like 5 minutes. But other than that, I didn't have. Yeah, the 6 and 7 trend, I just kind of ignore it, honestly. I just don't care about it. It's like one of those things that will be popular for a little bit and then will go away, and then everyone's like, oh, what does it mean? And I don't care. Oh, you're a teacher. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I teach. I'm not really a teacher. I'm in title, I'm a teacher, but I'm a special ed teacher, and I work with students on the autism spectrum who mostly are nonverbal, so they wouldn't be saying 6 and 7, and they wouldn't even know about that. They're disconnected from all that. So I don't have to deal with that, thankfully, in my profession, but I have a friend who has 2 teenage daughters. She was trying to get them to explain it to her, and they couldn't. They're like, I don't know. It's just a thing. But they get it, but they couldn't explain to their mom. Yeah, I can imagine if you were a teacher, it would be a nightmare. I'm in a position where I just like ignore it and wait for it to go away, like which it will. Within a year, it'll be gone. So don't worry, Allison. It'll fade. It'll be replaced by something I'm sure equally as annoying, but it'll go away. Aaron Lee is still around. Now I'm back to 5 again, though. It was up to 6. I don't usually pay attention to the views. Like it's a little eyeball in the corner of my screen. says the number of views. I don't usually pay attention, viewers, I should say. I don't usually pay attention to it, but now I'm like, hey, where'd they go? What else you guys got for me? I gotta go at least an hour. We're not at the hour mark yet. We're at 55 minutes and 14 seconds. What else? What else? What do you guys got for me? Sorry, occasionally I come with topics in hand, but this time I'm just completely relying on you. Will Ferrell, number one, ask another question. You usually ask questions. Where's Tyler? Tyler's always good for random questions. Keep the conversation going. Yeah, I can't think of anything. So if you guys can't think of something soon, I might have to go. Please don't let me go. Oh, here we go. Pluribus. Anybody watching Pluribus? The new show from Vince Gilligan that is sci-fi related. So it's like back to his X-Files roots. People will complain that it is too slow, and it is a slow-paced show, but I love the pace. It's a show that puts character over plot, so there's not a lot of plot movement, and I think that bothers a lot of people. But I'm fascinated by the character stories that they do, and mainly it's just one character, but there's a couple other characters. The last episode they did focused on two different characters with very, very little dialogue. And one of the characters was just singing a lot of different songs that reflected her mood, and it was so brilliantly done. So I love it. I'm not complaining about the pace at all. I get, and I'm gonna make Mark not make Mark watch it, because they were gonna watch it anyways. But when I go out east, they don't currently have an Apple Plus subscription, so I'm gonna use my login and binge all the way up until the finale will come on while we're there, while I'm there. So I'm going to have them binge episodes 1 through 8. And I'm curious what they'll think of it, because it's it'll be interesting to watch it as a binge, because on the one hand, because it is so slow paced, it might play better watching it one episode after the other, so you don't have to wait a week. But on the other hand, it's just one of those shows you gotta let marinate. You gotta sit with it. You gotta talk about it. My good friends Rob and Darren do a weekly video where they discuss it. So I love watching them, and I watch a whole bunch of other different videos and theory videos and discussions on it. It's one of those shows I really enjoy, like marinating in it for a week and like talking about it, and theorizing and talking about the characters and the symbolism and all the things. So you miss out on that. Although, Mark, if you end up watching this, I am going to probably ask you questions. Not after every episode, but like after certain episodes, I'm going to be like, so Mark, what do you think about this? Because I'm going to want to compare Mark's opinion to like what I'm hearing online right now for different things. So it'll be interesting. Will you have turkey again on Christmas? 2 big turkeys in a short period of time seems a lot. I personally don't have turkey ever because I'm a vegetarian. Whether will my family have turkey? I think they tend to do ham. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. Not my problem. I don't eat meat, so not a thing for me. Yes, very good. Lots of questions. Are you talking about Pluribus? It's good, isn't it? Like it's one of these days I'll go back and watch Better Call Saul. I just missed that one. I just never watched it, but I do want to binge it one of these days. But apparently, Ray Seahorn, her name is, same actress from Better Call Saul. She's amazing. Yeah, I love this show. I liked your features of 2025 video. Who would have thought the biggest disappointment for this year would be what it is for me too? Yeah, And spoiler alert, it is Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And that is not a spoiler because I told you all that like months ago. Like when I did my review for Strange New Worlds, I was like, I don't care what else comes on for the rest of the year. Strange New World season 3 is locked in, guaranteed to be the most disappointing show because there's no other show that was coming on after it that I had as high of expectations as I did for Strange New Worlds. Stranger Things, like I don't have as high of expectations as I had for Strange New Worlds. Pluribus, I didn't even know was a show that was in existence until like literally the day before it came on. And none of the other shows that were coming on were ones that I had any expectations for whatsoever. So it was physically impossible for any show to be more disappointing than Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. Let's hope that other than the puppet episode, they're able to, get back to the basics and just show us some fucking Star Trek. Just stop with trying to be just different and just like, ooh, look at this. Ooh, it's zombies. Ooh, it's puppets. Ooh, it's I mean, we're getting the puppets next season. But other than that, could we just like have some fucking Star Trek, for God's sakes? God damn it. Outside of the very short treks, 4.5 Vulcans is the worst modern Trek episode. I could not deny you that. I think I would still probably place it number 2 behind the mathematically perfect redemption, which is the peanut hamper episode, because I fucking hate that character so much, and I hate that episode so much. But if you want to say 4.5 Vulcans is the worst, I am not going to begrudge you that at all. The very short tracks, do they count as modern track though? I mean, I guess they do, but fuck them. Maddie Jester says, I feared Strange New Worlds would drop in quality after the writer strike. Same thing happened to Battlestar Galactica. It just wasn't the same after the strike. I still like Battlestar Galactica in its later seasons. I think it kind of maybe a little less consistent. Maybe it ebbed and flowed a little bit more, but I still liked it. I even liked the finale, even though the Starbuck thing was really weird and like what the fuck was going on with that. But I liked it. And Allison says, agree, Norman. I assume about the 4.5 Vulcans. Yeah. Can't deny you that. I think the mathematically perfect redemption thing is a personal thing for me. So there are actually people who like 4.5 Vulcans though. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it at all. Or will at least say like it was a decent episode. It wasn't terrible. It was mediocre. Like even that is too much. Like it was objectively a terrible episode. Objectively, not just my opinion, by any measure of measuring quality of television episodes, it was bad, just bad. The Vulcan version of Code of Honor and Up the Long Ladder. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a little different because Vulcans are, a fictional species, but you got to respect your own, fictional species within your own universe. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do them dirty like that. Like, the Vulcans I mean, Enterprise did too, to be fair, in the first couple seasons. Not to that extent, but Enterprise didn't really show the Vulcans a lot of respect in the first 2 seasons either. But generally speaking, the Vulcans are very revered, respected species that add a lot to the story, and for them to be treated in that way, yeah, no, it's. I mean, it feels weird to say it's racist against this fictional species, but I mean, it's as a species is very, very crucial, very central to your universe. It was one, I think, the first alien species ever seen in Star Trek, with Spock. So yeah, you gotta show them more respect than that. You can do them dirty like that. So I agree. All right, guys. I don't want to leave yet. What else have we got? You guys have any other ideas? I mentioned Pluribus. What else is there going on? What else is happening? Pluribus, Stranger Things. We talked about Fallout season 2 is starting this week. I might wait on that because I currently don't have Amazon Prime, and I might wait till I cancel Apple Plus after Pluribus is done, and then get Amazon Prime again. So I might wait until January and binge like the first 3 episodes and then watch it. And I don't know. Then we have early in January. This has been the trend the last couple of years because 2025, like I feel like very heavy at the first part of the year with all the really highly sought off after shows that everybody wanted to watch, and then kind of petered out in the second half of the year. And 26 we have Starfleet Academy, and you can say what you want about the trailers, and I myself said I was like meh on it. It's a Star Trek show, and we are all Trekkies, so that's going to be something we're going to want to watch. And then that's January 15th, and then January 17th, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is coming on. So interesting. King of the Hill, I was never that into it to begin with. I think I think I watched it for the first couple seasons it was on, and then just got old for me. Like I didn't care about it anymore. I don't know, the whole running joke with Dale's son obviously being the son of the Native American dude, and just it was a lot of the same jokes over and over. So it grew stale with me pretty quickly. So I probably watched it the first like 2 seasons it was on, and then never watched it again. So I certainly will not be watching any revival of it. That show, yeah, it's not my thing. You have any nice plans for later this evening? Not sure yet. Undecided. I have a couple of different places that I could go out to, and I also could just stay here and watch YouTube or watch a movie or something. Undecided. Don't know yet. Well, we're back up to 6 viewers again. I swear to God, I don't usually pay attention to that. Yeah, I'm sorry to shoot down. I'm asking you guys to give me topics, and then I shoot them down. Like, here's a topic. How about the King of the Hill revival? Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to shoot down your topics. I just have to be honest. Leave the house. Ew, people. Yeah, I feel you. I get those. I'm a very extroverted introvert. Um, I'm introverted in that like I charge my batteries by being home alone and doing my own thing. I don't get my batteries charged by being with people. However, I need a good balance. Like I have a really good group of friends, um, and I'd like to see live music. So I do like to go out and be social with very specific people, I guess. Or sometimes I will go out and do, if none of my friends are going, go to a live music show without them and just not really necessarily socialize a whole lot and just do my own thing, like be introverted in a social setting sometimes. But when I do go out, I tend to, I meet other people. I socialize with other people outside of my circle of friends. It's not like I don't, but like Yeah, I'm extroverted with a specific group of people, I guess. um, so I guess when it comes down to it, that's not really extroversion. But I do like to do social things. Is my point. I do like to do social things. But there are nights where I feel that exactly, like leave the house. Ew, people, ew. Yeah, definitely. I'm on the fence tonight. I'm not sure where I land on it. I'll have to make some dinner and see what I feel like. Yeah, that's right. I'm in a war zone. That's right. Whatever happened to that? We're not a war zone anymore. That's kind of dropped since the court case. Um, it'll probably come back though. Probably be in a war zone. Oh my god, you guys! I can't even tell you like just how ridiculous that was when he said that. Like us here in Portland are like, what? Like, I mean, everyone is making fun of it. Like I went to see a band and they were like, "All right, everybody, be careful driving home through the war zone." Like, I know there's gonna be all those checkpoints you're gonna have to go through, and like, the only way that it would become a war zone if Trump was successful in getting National Guard here and they started acting like it was a war zone, then it would become one. And but Trump would have created the war zone. Like otherwise, like it's just so far out of reality. Like it's crazy. Like it's not even close to reality. Um, anything else? Dancing dinosaur and unicorn scared the more people off. Don't forget the frogs. The frogs started it all. I love that. Soon after that, like I read that all the inflatable frog uniforms or costumes, not uniforms. I guess they kind of are uniforms. They're the Antifa uniform. Antifa, they were all sold out on Amazon. I love that. Yeah. Well, what else? I'll try not to shoot down your next topic, Norman. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Any new Star Wars coming out soon? I haven't kept up with it. Ahsoka season 2 is coming out at some point in 2026. And then the Mandalorian and Grogu film is coming to theaters, I believe in the summer of 2026. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Remember in 2024, I named that the franchise fatigue. That got the franchise fatigue award was Star Wars. Since then, that's worn off a little bit because there hasn't been as much content for Star Wars. But I like Ahsoka. I think it didn't quite live up to its potential. I think it kind of petered a little bit in the second half of the season, but I do like Ahsoka, and so I'm looking forward to see what they do with season 2. It'll be really interesting to see how they do the Mandalorian and on the big screen, like in that format. So I'll be curious about it. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily excited for it, but I'm curious about it. Honestly, right now the movie I'm most excited for is Supergirl. It's because I've been, watching videos about it, and it's based off of a comic book run called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and it's like kind of an interesting story. It's not going to be your typical comic book movie. Like Supergirl is an alcoholic, and she's got a lot of trauma, and it's going to kind of be about her like getting out of that. So I'm interested in that one. I wouldn't say I'm super excited about it, but I think of all the movies. And then there's Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Oh, and I guess Avengers: Doomsday, but I'm kind of tentative on that one. I'm like, oh boy, what are they going to do with Avengers: Doomsday? But that's not until a year from now. Anyways, that seems like so far into the future. I heard they were re-releasing the Lord of the Rings films, the extended versions. I can't remember if that was going to be this year or next year, or I don't know. I don't know. There haven't been truly great cinematic features since those movies. Like just like this epic blockbuster. Like nothing has come close since Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. I've loved some of the Marvel stuff, but come on. So I don't know. I've got to be honest with you. Like I'm not. I'm trying to do more audiobooks to consume. It's just like I'm having a hard time reading lately. Just like actually sitting in it. Usually I sit down and I open up a book and I fall asleep immediately. So I am sorry I don't have any suggestions for you on that front. I'm being pretty bad about reading books lately. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm shooting down one of your topics, but I'm just being honest. Like I haven't been reading a lot lately. When I have been reading, it's been reading about things like tarot and witchcraft. It's not been reading about, not been reading a lot of fiction lately. Sorry. What is Project Hail Mary? Tell me. I'll have to get my subscription to Audible again because I was doing better when I had audiobooks than I am with reading. Project Hail Mary. By whom? Who's the author? Buffering. Andy Weir. Okay. I'll look into it. See what I can do. It's not about a football player throwing a pass at the end of the football game. That's what I think of when I hear Hail Mary. You should get to Stonehenge. They will all be dancing on the shortest day. Maddie, that would be a dream of mine to go to Stonehenge for the solstice. Yeah, one day perhaps. One day perhaps. Movie when Ryan Gosling coming out in March. No space stuff. Wait, what movie is? What movie with Ryan Gosling? What are you talking about? Oh, the Project Hail Mary. That's they're making it into a movie starring Ryan Gosling. Is that what you're saying? Well, well, I mean, if you're gonna say that, then I'd probably wait for the movie. Oh, it's about space stuff. Okay, okay. Not football. I was joking. I didn't think it was about football. That's just what I think of. That's what they call it, like when they throw up a pass at the end of the game and just hope that somebody catches it. It's a Hail Mary. We're talking about American football for you from outside of the States. I think I've seen this trailer actually. It's just sounding familiar. It's coming back to me. I'll have to I'll have to watch it again to jog my memory because It obviously didn't really make that big of an impression on me if I can't remember it, but it's something that I'll check that out. I'll check it out. The book I'm sure is going to be better because that's always the case. Um, Norman been to Stonehenge once, absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, that's probably one of those places I'll have to go. I mean, what is it like there during the solstice? Is it just like super crowded? Is it like a huge thing? Like like all the witches from all over the world go there and pagans and whatnot. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, Stonehenge has always fascinated me. It's like one of those things that like we just forgot about. Like we killed all the people who would have known about it. Like not we, but probably this you know, the British, the Anglo-Saxons. I don't know who killed them all. I don't remember my history. I've been drinking wine, but um, yeah, but like yeah, it's just like now we just don't even know how it got there and what it actually symbolized or what it. I think a lot of people probably have a pretty good idea of what it means or have good theories on it, but like how did they get those rocks like that? Aliens? I don't know. We don't know. We wiped out all the civilizations that would have been able to tell us. I haven't bid myself, but I hear it gets pretty wild, big crowds. I bet it does. That might be something a goal for one time in my life. Definitely aliens. I mean, I'm not going to say definitely anything, but I think that's as good a theory as any, to be honest with you. It's also possible that, like, in some ancient times, like we're like the wheel of time, where, where in some ancient times they actually had technology, and then all that was wiped out, hundreds of thousands of years ago, and all record of it is lost. So they actually had machines that could do that. That's I would probably put that a little bit higher on the ranking order over aliens, but I do believe that aliens are a real thing, so I do think aliens is up there as well. Like I think aliens is as possible as anything else. I don't know, but I guess I want to believe it was more human creation. I think that's why I think I would rather believe that that we humans did that. But it could be aliens. I don't know. Could be freaking fairies for all I freaking know. I don't know. Could have been magic. Could have been Merlin. Like, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe magic was actually like people actually had developed their, telekinetic powers. Like maybe somebody had telekinetic powers and put it on there. Lots, lots of ways Stonehenge could have happened. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think aliens would be too interested in visiting right now either. They'd be like, yeah, let's move on. I agree. But maybe back in the day when humanity was a little more interesting, back when pagan cultures were allowed to thrive, more earth-based cultures, um, like the Native American cultures, before they were all wiped out, maybe aliens would have come and hung out with us then. Like, oh, you guys are cool. But now they're like, fuck you guys. You guys suck. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, well, well. We are approaching the hour and a half mark. We're at 100 or an hour and 24 4 minutes and 34 seconds. And there's a little clock. It's right next to the little eyeball that says how many people are watching, which, by the way, is 6 right now. So you're kind of bouncing between 5 and 7. It's at 6 right now. And right next to that, there's a little clock. You guys don't see it. It's just, just I see it. And as I mentioned before, the sun would go down. It's completely dark now. And now you can see the Christmas lights a little better because there's no sun coming through. But I knew that was going to happen because it's getting close to solstice, getting close to the shortest day of the year. Anyone else have any good rituals planned? I'm going to probably do a solstice ritual this year. And actually celebrate Christmas too, because I usually don't celebrate Christmas, but since I will be hanging out with my parents, I'm going to get them presents. I'm going to get Mark a present. And, I already actually got Mark a present. It was pretty easy. He just has an Amazon, or they just have an Amazon wish list of their favorite board games. So I got him one of those. And this is not any kind of spoiler for Mark. Like, they know that's what I was getting them. I'm not telling them what specific game I got. That I'll have to wait. but yeah, I'm gonna do the whole Christmas thing this year, which I don't usually. But also solstice. I'm gonna do the solstice thing this year as well. I think in general, solstice moving forward is probably going to become a bigger holiday for me than Christmas, but I will celebrate it when I'm around other people who are into celebrating it. I mean, Christmas is like so much of it like comes from pagan traditions. Like, I mean, everybody knows this, right? Like, do you know the Christmas tree? Like, that has nothing to do with fucking Jesus. Do you know that, right? I mean, the Christmas tree. You get that comes from pagan traditions, right? Yuletide. Come on. How does that term get tied up with Christmas? Yeah, so much of it is the fact that Christmas is even on December 25th in the first place. You think Jesus was born in December? I mean, if you believe that he was a real person, no, I don't think he was born in December. Let's see. I have a couple of Moopsies that makes a great gift. What are Moopsies again? I know what that is, but I can't think of it. No gift will top. Oh, I actually have this memory of years and years ago when Deep Space Nine was still on. This was like in the 90s. My parents actually gave Mark a clock for Christmas, and he opened it and went, "Oh, clock!" Like I remember that. Liaisons. Was that the one when Picard and Crusher were like mentally connected? Was that one? I don't remember what Liaisons was. Oh, the Moopsies. Yeah. Moopsie. That's right. Yeah. 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 1 hour, 28 seconds, 41, or sorry, 1 hour, 28 minutes, 44 seconds. 6 little eyeballs. Love me, alien abductor. Give me more. Give me more. Obviously, it's not a memorable episode for me, so it's obviously not one of my favorites. Was it from season 7? Because season 7 is like the season I'm least familiar with Next Generation. Probably because I did not rewatch most of those episodes, other than Parallels and All Good Things. Yeah, give me more on liaisons. That's not enough. Doctor Who was the meat. Yeah, Moopsies is definitely from Lower Decks. I remember now. Moopsie. Yeah. Moopsie. Yeah. Um yeah, that was one of the Lower Deck episodes that I thought was just okay. I was never like a big I mean, I'm sure it's great for selling toys, but I was never really that enamored by the Moopsies as other people were. Fine, but it's just very far from one of my favorite things in Lower Decks. Wouldn't make the top 10. Now the panda, that might be a little different, but even though I hated the episode that originally had the panda, I do like that they have the panda popping up. You want to tell me about liaison so I can remember what it is? Because love me alien abductor is not doing it for me. Can't that's not jogging my memory. Don't make me look it up. All right, I'm gonna look it up. Oh, it was season 7. That explains it. I'm seeing that. All right. On a diplomatic mission, Worf, Troy, and the captain deal with 3 aliens who explore foreign concepts with extreme singular force. Okay, what else? And I'm seeing a picture of it right here. This is the IMDb page, and still not ringing a bell for me. Like season 7 is just I'm not familiar with it as much because I didn't like season 7. And I didn't feel the need to rewatch any of those episodes except for Parallels and All Good Things, both of which made my top 25 all-time Trek, all Trek. But everything else in season 7, I just, um, yeah, I think season 7 was a good time for the Next Generation to stop because the quality had, and Mark and I will argue this all the time, but this is my opinion. Like, they have a different view on it, and I know other people do too, and that's fine. But this is my opinion. I think the quality objectively goes down. I think that they've run out of ideas. They're doing like amnesia tropes, and they're doing Picard has a son, and they're doing they're grasping at straws for ideas, and not coming up with anything, um, except for here and there. Parallels, All Good Things is amazing. I think they put all of their creative energy into All Good Things, and everything else was just bleh. So, I just don't. Yeah, like all the other seasons, even seasons 1 and 2, like I've seen hundreds of times, and season 7 of maybe seen each of those episodes 3 times max, outside of Parallels and All Good Things. Um, Picard is with misery, like alien who keeps saying "love me." So this is not the same as this isn't the same as the what the fuck was that called? The one that I at one point put it in my top 10 least favorite episodes, and then I think I took it out because I found something else was less favorite in it. The Perfect Mate. That's what I'm thinking of. It's not that. It's something else. I don't remember this episode. Liaisons is also the episode where Byleth demands Worf serve as his bodyguard and is rude to him. Yeah, I think this is probably an episode I hated. I don't. I'm still not remembering it, but it's a very forgettable episode for me. I think it's one I probably didn't like. But like I said, season 7 in general, I just didn't like it. Um, yeah, yeah, I know it's not the perfect mate. It was a different one. Well, you guys, I think we might be wrapping this up. If you guys have any more last minute thoughts, you can throw them in there. See, this is like, yeah, the hourglass. That's the word I was looking for. When this is all gone, it's going to be time to go. Oh, just a little bit left. Anybody got any last minute things? Time's up. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. It's great to see you, to Allison, Norman, Will Ferrell, #1. Aaron Lee popped in for a minute. Who else did we have in? Maddie, of course. Maddie was the first one here, guessing the wine, as usual. What was the name of that cool person that like jumped in for a second? Something about otters. I'm trying to find them. Angry Otter Reacts. Yeah, someone who just found my channel and jumped in and contributed to conversation for a minute. That was fun. And Aaron Lee. Yeah, good to see. I feel sad I missed these live streams. I mean, I've only been doing them every 3 months anyways, so yeah, I'm just like not feeling it anymore. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll just spontaneously decide to do one, but wouldn't count on it. And I will still appear with Mark. Yes, I will. As I said in my video, make sure you watch that because I did answer that question. Yep, I will still appear with Mark. In fact, Mark and I have been discussing a new thing that we might do together, but I don't want to say what it is yet because it's not definitely like happening. Probably gonna happen. But like, so you might see me on Mark's channel quite a bit, so don't worry, like you'll still see me. I just won't do anything on my channel anymore. Deep Space Nine is my all-time favorite Star Trek series spinoff. I think it's #2 for me, behind Next Generation. It's been a long road. All the best to Alyssa and everyone in the chat. Yeah, I'm so thankful to have you all with me. Thank you for coming and supporting me and always being there. Some of you back since the Acton Tomko days. Some of you just since the beginning of the Alyssa Jean days. But appreciate all of you. Yeah, live long and prosper. Good one, Will Ferrell #1. Oh, you're Will Ferrell #1 201. I just noticed that just now. You changed your name. All right, everybody. I'll still see you all out there. Make sure you're on my Facebook page and follow Mark's channel, and you'll still see me show up on there. So I'm not gone for good. I'm just not going to do anything on my own channel anymore. All right, everyone. Love you. Thanks for coming. See you all. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.